Greeting guys, welcome back to another episode on Dr. DIY's channel. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate a short tutorial on how to carry out a maintenance work on a Bosch Rotak 40 Ergoflex grass cutter. Okay, this grass cutter basically is powered by electric, 240 volt, and the power consumption is 1700 watts. You can see here. Okay, it has been serving me quite well now. Bought it in year 2013 and it did not give any problem, right? It cuts the grass well, it trims the grass well, it trims and it also sweeps for me. Okay, obviously you have a compartment at the back there. The attachment is out now. So from my review on the YouTube videos out there, there are very limited information on how you service this guy, this Bosch grass cutter. So I thought, since I'll be replacing some of the parts today, so I thought why not just make a short tutorial. Okay, how you're going to carry out the maintenance work. So what maintenance work we are going to do today, or what works are we going to do today, is we are going to replace the motor, because the motor casing has been broken, if I'm not mistaken, due to excessive wear and tear. Okay, excessive usage, 2013 till today. So around 7 years plus. So we are going to replace the whole unit, and we are going to replace also the blade, right? So guys, hopefully the video helps. Without further ado, let's get the show started. So this will be the parts which we will be replacing today, right? So the parts have already arrived. So this is the motor unit, okay, the motor, which is powered by electric 240 volts, and then the power will be transmitted by means of a rubber belting to a bigger pulley. Okay, and there is a thread hole here, insert here. This is where the grass cutting blade will be placed, will be installed. Okay, so we will be changing this whole unit, right? Because the plastic component have already given way inside there. So due to that, it is not working well. And when you purchase this, it comes together with a sensor. This is known as the overload sensor, and also thermal protective sensor. So meaning which, if you use the machine in a long run, if the motor overheats, automatically the circuit gets cut to protect the motor. And if there is any overload, this sensor will also kick in to protect the motor from further operation till the temperature cools down and the overload is being removed. Okay, so it comes together. So this thing comes together, one set, right? You can see the part number is here, all the way from UK. So this is the part number. And we will also be replacing the blade. Okay, this is the blade, because from day one I have been using till today, I have not replaced the blade. Later I'll show you the condition of the original blade. So the blade, the part number is here. Okay, so this is made in Germany. The blade is from Germany, the motor is from UK. So these are the two items we will be replacing, right? So it's quite simple actually to do this, right? This particular product, or this the grass cutter, it can cut at several heights. Okay, so you can see here it can cut at 7 cm, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 cm. So 2 cm is the minimum depth of cut it can cut, right? So normally I will be cutting at 2 or 2.5 cm, because carpet grass you got to make it as thin as possible, okay, so that it looks really flat and nice to the touch and to the look. So first thing first, we got to basically tilt this guy over. So I'm going to fold the handle in. I'm going to tilt this guy now and slowly tilt it over. So you can see this is the blade, right? So first thing, we got to remove the nut here to take out the blade. So the nut is size 13. Okay, so there is a way you remove this nut, right? Because when you turn this, the whole thing turns. This whole thing turns. So you got to lock you got to lock this blade before you turn. So that is why they gave you a hole. There's a hole here. So this hole is simply to put in your screwdriver, right? And then you get your ratchet system or whatsoever, size 13. So in this case, I'm getting size 13. So you put it at the nut here and you gently turn it till the blade, turn it anti-clockwise till the blade touches the screwdriver. Okay, so now the blade is locked towards the screwdriver. You can gently just apply a bit more force and you just turn it, then the screw is open. Similar way you're going to fix back. Okay, so just take out the screw. Right, so when the screw comes out, there is a plate together with the screw. This plate, just keep it here, right? You got the nut here, and this is the cutter, I mean the blade. Okay, it has been serving me now about almost 7.5 years. I did not change, so you can see the wear and tear of the blade, right? Supposed not to be like this. So how does a new blade looks like? So in engineering terms, a new blade, normally we call it a virgin blade. Oops. So let me just put it side by side so we can compare. Right. So this is how a new blade looks like. Okay. It is a 40 cm in length. So meaning which from here till here is 40 cm. That's why it's called, the name of the machine is called, you can see that, Rotak 40 Ergoflex. Ergo simply means is ergonomics, due to the handle design, the rubber material used to absorb vibration, to eliminate or minimize vibration towards the hands of the operator, to prevent any further damage to the hands and so forth, right? What type of damage? Normally we will have this carpal tunnel syndrome effect, this tingling sensation on the hands due to continuous vibration transmitted to the body from the machine. So all these aspects Bosch has taken into account, and they have improvised it by putting all this rubberized material. You can see the contour of the handle, right? It is not just straight, it is made in a way whereby it fits the hand, because our hands are not straight. Okay, so there's a comfortable hold when you hold the handle. Okay, coming back to the blade. So this is the new blade. the virgin blade, and this is the used blade. So this used blade basically can't be used anymore. Can be used, but it's not that effective. Why? Because the curvature of the blade is already not so effective, and the blade have already been broken here. So the curvature is not so effective. Hence, when the blade turns, the amount of air generated or the vacuum generated down here to basically push all the grass which has been cut or shredded by the device into this hole is very, very minimum. So you will have a lot of grass still on the floor or on the base where you are cutting, because the wind or the air generated by this curvature is already very poor, because you see it's already been deformed, I will say. Okay, this blade has already been deformed. Whereas the new blade, you can see the thickness of the blade. Okay, see how thick it is? I think roughly is about 3 mm thick, and the sharpness of the blade is only here, right? They made it such a way it's only at this point. So the old blade, the sharpness have already gone all the way up here because of massive usage over the years. So this blade is considered no more safe to use. So we are going to change this blade to this blade, and also change the motor system. Okay, so moving on to the next step. So the next step is to get the casing open to get to the motor. Okay, in order to get through to the motor, we need to open up this black cover. Right, this black cover is basically covering the motor. The motor is sitting down right inside here. So now, in order to open this cover, you got to reach 2 screws here, which is Phillips screw. Okay, both sides here. So I'm gonna just use a simple drill. Get it loosed. So once you got that loose, just gently pull this cover out. Okay, just pull it out, no problem. So when you pull out, you can hold here because there's a handle. You just pull it out, right? So the whole piece comes out. You just lay it here, right? The cover comes out. Now you can take a look inside, right? So basically that is the whole thing we are going to change. So this is the cover here. This one you can just take it out. Okay, this is a protective cover also. Okay, and also a ventilation cover. You see a lot of holes here. Okay, later you can clean this off. You can just dust it. And this is the motor which we are going to change. So now, before we are going to take out the motor, we're going to disconnect the wires. So this wire is coming in to power the motor, and there is a clip there. So you can just gently just pull it out. Okay, blue is the neutral, and you have this white which is the live. So you can see this is the overload and thermal sensor. Okay, we cannot remove that because it's going into the groove. We got to take out this compartment now. So how we are going to take out this compartment is by removing 4 screws which is located at the base of the cutter. Where are the screws located? 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So these 4 screws are all Phillips types. You can use back your same screwdriver or your hand drill. Just gently put in and you remove it. Okay, these are the screws. Take it and keep it aside. I'll just keep it in this cover. 4 screws has been removed. Gently now put the grass cutter back on its base. and you can basically just hold this guy and bring it out slowly. Just move it like that. Just bring it out. Okay, so it comes up. So this black enclosure or this black socket, there is no screws, it's just simply mounted. We are going to use back this guy, so simply just lift it up by means of pulling it up. Okay, so once you pull it out, you can get to the sensor. Just remove the sensor, right? So this is the old sensor. Just unplug the brown wire, okay, the incoming live wire, right? So this is the one which came with a new unit, so we are not going to use the old one. So now the electrical wiring has been totally disconnected. That's good. You can bring this now over. Careful, it's quite heavy. Okay, right, so we have already got it. You can take out the black enclosure, slowly remove it. Okay, so this thing we are going to use back later. Keep it aside. So this is the old motor. Oh, the pulley came out loose. Oh, okay, the pulley came out loose. By right, it should come out with the pulley if I'm not mistaken. So this is the pulley. Just pull it out because there's a bearing there, and the belt also came out. So you can see, this is the bearing. In order to check whether the bearing is okay, just put your hand inside, secure, and just turn. In this case, the bearing is still smooth. Okay, so we will not be using all this because everything comes one set. Okay, so let's see what is the problem here. You can see the motor, actually you have a lot of plastic which is exposed, and I believe, can you see all the holes here? By right, there shouldn't be any holes because these holes are all covered by a built-in fan which is attached directly to the rotor shaft. So in other words, when the motor turns, this rotating cover, I mean the rotating built-in fan will also turn. Okay, it will generate a self-cooling effect to the motor during operation. That is why you have a duct, a air duct. If you can see properly here, let me just put it here. You can see the air duct. Okay, you see the air duct, it goes here. So when this thing turns, it sucks or it takes in air to cool down the motor. So these plastic components have all given way over the years, and it basically could have caused internal damage to the motor, right? So that is why the motor sometimes it gives a weird sound and it jerks and it suddenly stops due to overload due to the thermal sensor, right? So that's why we need to replace the motor. That was the symptoms I was facing during cutting operation. The motor used to make some abnormal sound than before. That is number one. Number two, I used to get frequent jerks. Okay, the machine is not smooth, you have some jerks. And number three, the machine break off or cut off itself quite frequently than before. So meaning which there was something which was preventing the motor from turning. Okay, and that's something now we know is these plastic parts all have came loose. Because if you can see the new motor, okay, can you see the plastic part there? You have the lines, that is the fan. Okay, can I turn? It's quite hard to turn because the belt is under tension. Okay, that is the fan. So there is no any hollow. There you can see the fan there. Can you see that one? So that is the fan which will basically suck the air in and to cool down the motor. Okay, and this mechanism here, this is a a mechanism where it will immediately stop the motor from running when the button is let go. Okay, when the user is pressing the button or the switch, the grass cutter is in operation. The moment the switch is being released, meaning which there is no current drawn from the motor, this motor will immediately stop. Why? This is one safety features they implemented because a blade is attached here. So if there is no immediate stopping effect, the blade will keep rotating, right? The blade will keep rotating and it can cause some danger if you want to do any maintenance work. So with this mechanism, the blade will not be able to turn freely. There must be some force given so that the blade will be turning, right? And the force comes from the motor. If the motor is not running, the blade will not be able to turn. But you may turn the blade by means of applying some force by your hand, right? Why? Because there is some sort like a clutch system here, right? So when this thing turns, this clutch system, this plate here, will be lifted up slowly from the clutch. This is the clutch, okay? Some sort like a gasket. So it will be lifted up. Then it will be turning freely. So the moment it stops, you have no electric going to the motor, this thing will come down and get in contact with the clutch, and immediately there is some sort of resistance, it will stop turning. So this is actually, that is the is one of the part of the safety feature of this design. Obviously they could have not put this, okay, they can just directly couple, but the safety features of it, which actually makes the product, you know, more useful and more safe to use, right, compared to those other non-branded product in the market out there, which you can also purchase, which is relatively cheap. I got this unit for, in back 2013, this unit was around 900 ringgit. Okay, all right. So since we have already opened up the motor, so there is some dust, so I'm going to dust this now. I'm going to clean it. Okay, the surface or the base has been cleaned from all the debris, and the bearing is still in good condition. However, I've sprayed this silicone spray on the side of the bearing, okay, just to add in some lubricant. So this is the new one. Remember, we still got to fix the casing, which is the black casing. So just simply tilt it here, put it there. But I think before that we just drop in the motor straight, right? So remember, this pulley, this slot must go into the bearing, right? So it's clean, make sure it's clean, because if there's any sand, it will be hard to go inside, right? Or you can just put in some, you just spray some silicone spray there, no harm. Don't spray on the belt. Okay, just drop it in slowly. Yes. It's fitted properly in. So now you can put in the black plastic part, okay? Oh, not this way, sorry, it's the other way, because you need the hole here. This is where the thermal or the overload sensor will go inside here. Before we put out sensor, we just connect it first. Yeah, we just got to connect it, right? Brown to the slot there. After that, we just slowly put it in here, and then put it at the place where it came out, and you just push this guy in. There is a plastic cover here from the old motor. Okay, you can just, it's just a cap. slowly just pull it out, okay, and put it here to cover this. In my case, I'm just going to put some silicone spray here. Okay, good. Then I'm just going to cover this. Yeah, and you have a groove there. You just tuck in the wire. You're good to go. Right, you're almost done. Okay, so let's have a zoom in and see what happened. Alright, so this is where the sensor sit. There's a special place they have already allocated. Small hole there. So the sensor sits in the hole. Okay, so we just follow back how they install. And the blue wire goes here. It just by simple click. The white wire and the blue wire is going to the start and the end of the coil. This is the carbon brush. Okay, this is the carbon brush. We have one carbon brush and two carbon brush. Okay, so I think we are done. Now we can just lift it over and we can put in the 4 screws below. Okay, I tighten up the 4 screws. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. When you want to tighten up, let's say if you start with this screw, tighten up this screw, then go to the opposite screw, screw number 2. Once this is done, then you do this and then you do this. Don't tighten up this, go here, go here, go here, because the force will not be even, the tightening force. So to get a good or effective even force when you tighten up here, 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 crisscross. Right, so it's already been tightened up. Since we are working down now, so we can straight away install the blade. Okay, because there's nothing to do down here, so we can straight away install the blade, so we need not to turn this again later. So very easy. You take the cap. This cap is in such a way whereby the curvature of the pipe the curvature of the cap goes in like this. Okay, then we get the new blade. Okay, 40 cm the length of the blade. Just put it there and you got the size 13. Screw it in. So similar setup, put in your screwdriver, right, and then just tighten up clockwise, size 13 mm. Just turn so that the blade touches the screwdriver, it doesn't move, and then you can effectively tighten up the screw. So I have already done that. So we have settled the lower part. So now let's continue fixing back the top casing. Just a gentle reminder, during the tightening up and the opening of this screw, please be careful, do not slip while opening or tightening, do not slip. Okay, please take extra cautious. Why? Because the blade is very sharp, so if you slip, if you hit the blade, you might get injured. So make sure you pay proper attention. Okay, if you think you are going to slip or it is not safe, maybe you might put some sort of protective cover here so that you will not get injured in the event of you hit this part, because this is very sharp. All right, this part and this part. So now the screws has been secured, we can put the top protector plate back. Bear in mind that there is a slot coming out from here. This is where the cable comes up. Okay, so slowly put it in by sliding it in, and you can see the cable goes in there nicely. Once it goes in, then you just snap it in down. So it's nicely attached now to the motor, right? There is no screw. This is just like a protective cover, okay, from any debris or any water element from touching the circuit of the motor. So that is already done. Now we continue to fix back the top enclosure. This is the enclosure, top part. So you can see there are two slots coming out here, one and two. So basically it goes in like this. It goes in like this, here and here. Okay, so you put in the slot in first, then you press the base down, right? So you put in, can you see? Then slowly lift this cover and you press it down, right? In this case, once it's already down, watch for the okay, this cover came out from here. Just simply put it back in. So once the cover is in place, before putting in the screws, make sure this cover is able to open freely and close. There's nothing stucking between the cover, preventing the cover to move from opening. So everything is done. So now you may put in back your two Phillips screws, right? In this case, I have these two Phillips screws. Okay, so we have already fixed everything. Just let's see. Obviously you need not to do this. This is just for illustration purpose because this is extremely dangerous, right? So you can see, right, it works. Okay, so you just put it down and you see the amount of air generated, because that is very important to make sure we get the maximum cut grass out of the compartment into this duct. So we just put the duct in. Okay, yeah, very powerful. So let's set it to right at number 2. Okay, so let's find some uneven surface. So in this case, we will cut there. So you can see the cut is good. Okay, it's extremely flat and there is no any grass left, meaning which the air generated is very strong by the new blade. It goes in all indirect. It's shredded grass. So guys, hopefully this video brought in some information for those of you who are using such grass cutters, okay, namely Bosch. But I believe most of the grass cutters, this setup, right, powered by electric, the procedure to change the motor and the blade is more or less the same. So maybe you got some this video can guide you in changing the motor and also doing some maintenance work on the device itself, right? So make sure in the event of doing such operation, you take necessary precautions. Okay, wear your safety gears, like your gloves. Make sure the item or the device is totally disconnected to the electric supply before you fiddle around or change any electric or electronic components, right? So Till we meet again, guys, hopefully this video brought in some useful information to you, spread the knowledge around. Checking out from Dr. DIY's channel. Cheers and stay safe.